Welcome to a cruise ship heist. Scene 113. New day. Celebrating the success of the mission and the fast boat being fended away from the ship and boarded by the Coast Guard, we didn't sleep much. Now dressed in civvies gathered from the early local market, Ronnie, Hunter and I arrive at the dock in a flatbed van. The dock is full of police cars. To keep it next to the dock and not snap the ropes, our ship is still using its side thrusters to power against the brisk early breeze. The forward gangway is being prepared for the guests, while the middle loading bay on deck 4 is being opened for cargo access. That is the door we will need to use to get the trunk off. Ronnie and I follow Hunter to the front, and we manage to slip back on board before the gangway is open to the police or customs officials. "Mr. Waltowski, sir, how did you get off the ship?" the security officer asks, his computer sitting on a lectern, not even functional yet. "Cargo gangway. We needed to check the police were here. I'll get dressed and hand over the prisoners." Hunter and Ronnie need to be in uniform. I need to get to my new cabin and collect the balance of money for the mercenaries we used. We don't want the trunk to be opened on the dock, nor in customs, nor anywhere until it's safe in Hunter's lockup. We hope any remaining gang members on the island will run without a leader or a purpose, but our team are staying for a short paid holiday. It's ironic that the Latina's money paid to get Elaine back from her grip. Hunter is in uniform and beats me back to the atrium. He is with the senior police officer and Interpol chiefs. We ensure they discover us on the ship, so it would be impossible to have been on the island last night. Whatever happened there is not related to us. We just have prisoners to hand over. "Good morning, officers. I'm Hunter Waltowski, head of security. We have 2 female prisoners, 1 highly dangerous, 4 male prisoners, all suspected gang members who work for the dangerous woman, who I think are drug cartel members. 1 dead body and the suspected murder weapon in a signed evidence bag." The police commander raises an eyebrow. "We don't get this with every cruise." "We do try to offer that little bit more, sir," Hunter jests. I see Georgie running towards me, arms out. If she hugs me in a 4-speed collision, not only will I scream, but it will look odd. I turn and walk away, looking over my shoulder to encourage her to follow me. Even her slightest touch hurts. "What? You're hurt?" she asks, concerned. "A nick. Don't squeeze too hard." "Okay, squeeze." She hugs me. "What were you saying about never having been on such a cruise?" I ask her. "Yes, I need to find a chemist and get a morning after pill that backdates itself a few days," she says. "I thought you had some from a friend." "Sadly, they ran out, and I'm too old to transfer to Kids Club." "It might be great news," I suggest. A tall blonde woman comes and lingers right beside us. Georgie lets go of me to hug her. And they kiss. I've just taken another bullet. "Kieran, this is Betty, Bedriska." Bedriska offers me a very firm handshake and an even firmer look. "Betty, Kieran's been my special friend while you were away," Georgie explains. "Good. I am back. He can go now," Betty says. And I realize nothing they said about her was a joke or exaggerated. Scene 114. Never look back. On the dockside, Officer Ronnie Cohen is organising a local forklift to lift the trunk from the edge of the loading bay off the ship and spin it around onto the flatbed forward. I'm not looking at that so much as the customs officer walking towards her. Hunter has seen this too and heads in that direction. "What is this? This is a secure area. Nothing gets moved without my inspection," the stony-faced customs officer says, approaching them. "A trunk from the theatrical department," Ronnie says. "I have no paperwork for a trunk." The officer wants to stop the unloading, but Hunter is signalling the driver to lift and load. The trunk drops onto the flatbed, but the officer is too large and unathletic to leap up after it. Hunter steps up to the officer. The company wants this for a kidnap reconstruction photo session with the girl. That's what the press is here for, Hunter says, indicating the truck driver to drive away. The customs officer blows a whistle as the truck gets close to the police chief, who takes interest and walks to meet Hunter. "What is this, Officer Witowski?" For the first time, I notice the guests hanging over the edge, as I had told them to do in my lecture, all taking pictures. I notice the TV news vans with cameras on top pointing at us, and I feel pressure. Hunter opens his hands in a helpless shrug and points at me. "He's the company special agent in charge." "Me? How am I landed in this? I am a retired agent, not an active one, and I'm not paid to think fast anymore." Actually, I am. There's about $16 million in that trunk. I walk up to Hunter. "Get the prisoners out now." I turn to the police chief. "The company is flying a film crew here to film the girl in the trunk, just as when she was kidnapped." "More film crews?" He waves, looking up at the guests watching him. "We have social media. News runs social media footage. I am the best at reconstructions." The police chief has his men help lift him onto the flatbed. It's obvious he wants to be on camera, that here in Madeira he is a television personality, whether they want him to be or not. And we don't. I just need to stall him so he can have his moment with the prisoners. Not a reconstruction we should do now. It will ruin the publicity. We need the girl, Aulie. It needs to be a warehouse. It needs to look frightening. All publicity is good publicity, and this is the best for me. Hunter leads Jill out slowly to the first police car, and he is attracting the cameras. That's good publicity, catching the international diamond thief. The police chief jumps down and rushes to be in the picture of her being put in the first police car. I jump down and bang the door on the flatbed truck. "Go." The truck edges forward, but the customs officer walks in and stops it. The armoured police van drives in front of it and swings around to the middle gangway. As Maria is brought out, she sees me next to the trunk on the flatbed, before being bundled into the van by the chief in an elaborate show. I've been spotted. Hunter drifts over to me. "Get this out of here." I point to the customs officer standing in front of it. Hunter walks towards him and tries to clear him and everyone else away. "Back, please. We have 4 murderers to be taken away and a dead body to be loaded on this truck." Some people move away. The truck starts to edge forward again. "Wait here. It is a good place to load the body," the customs officer says. 16 million 3 ways. Even, right? Ronnie says. "It's not really even," I admit. "You want more?" Ronnie asks. "No, I already took some, before it was taken from me." "Now I trust you," Hunter says. Ronnie looks puzzled. She narrows her eyes at Hunter. "He took about 4 million out in Baquay, with Georgie, sewn into the life jackets. I studied the film for ages. It bugged me, because the life jackets just didn't hang right," Hunter says. "I took one apart and worked out how much it would carry. Georgie might end up keeping that for. It's not clear at the moment," I suggest. "I figured we'd have to cut her in anyway, so it kind of worked out, but I'm pleased you've been honest." "Can we move the truck out of here?" Ronnie asks. "Just waiting for the locals," Hunter says. We all watch the chief take the glory as the last of the 4 men are led out, placed in police vans and driven away. He's parading like a peacock. Aulie comes down the gangway with 2 minders who seem to be advising her. One walks her over and speaks with the police commander, and we can see he is making the most of that too. The other then leads Aulie over to our flatbed Ford, dragging all the film crews with him. Two policemen help the police chief get up, and he helps Auli up too. "Open, please, for the TV cameras," he shouts. "I don't have the key," Hunter shrugs and turns to me. "Me neither." The police commander looks around and then announces, "She was cut out with bolt croppers. Bring me bolt croppers." "Is that the guy you were with last night?" I ask Ronnie. She nods. "Stop him then," Hunter demands. "He doesn't stop that easy," she says. "Bit of a steam train when asked to do something." He leaps on the flatbed and the cameras move in. "We were shot at for this," I say. "I was," Ronnie corrects. "We ripped it out of walls," Hunter says, defeated. "You didn't, I did," Ronnie argues. It's like a nightmare unfolding in slow motion. The padlock is cut. "I was gagged, my hands were bound, my legs were bound, and I could not move. I was forced inside the trunk and locked in," Auli acts out at the top of her voice. "That was Auli, that wasn't you," I say to Ronnie. "All we have left is banter, good old army banter, and then we will have to figure out how not to be arrested." "But I now have them all in Madeiran jail," the police commander delivers to the cameras and the guests filming from above. "Come closer, closer," he beckons the cameras in. "We take crime very seriously here in Madeira, one of the safest holiday destinations in the world." "Dreams shattered," I declare. "After everything we've been through," Ronnie says. "I went through a lot more. My wife was held at gunpoint," Hunter says. "My daughter was kidnapped," I argue. "So we see," Ronnie adds. "Now we'll all have to share your stash in Bequay." "What? No." "What is your name?" the commander asks Auli. "Auli, that's A-U-L-I, then an apostrophe, then another I, but it's said Au-Li-E. You can call me E." "This is painful. Just open the lid," Hunter mumbles. "Would you mind going inside again for the cameras, or is it too much of an ordeal?" the commander asks. "I'll try. It won't be easy. If I get distressed, will you help me?" she says to the commander. "She's acting," Ronnie suggests. "I know," I agree. The lid is opened. There are gasps, and each one of us has our head bowed, hands over our eyes, but the crowd go quiet. I peek through my fingers first. Auli is standing in the trunk. I nudge Hunter. Hunter jumps up and looks at her, easily fitting down into the trunk. He looks at me and Ronnie and shakes his head. It's empty. The money has gone. "So, do we trust each other?" I test. "I don't know," Hunter says, exasperated. Ronnie shakes her head no. There is a cacophony of flashing light bulbs, cameramen shouting, "Auli! E! Look at me!" After the publicity, E jumps out and down to join us. "That was nearly a nightmare," Auli exhales. "Why?" asked Ronnie. "Last night the guys wanted a still of me in the trunk. I found the trunk in the loading bay. Someone had moved it. Plus, it was locked. I found the key on your keyring in the suite, Dad. Went down to get it ready for the pictures, and you'll never guess what was inside." $16 million, we all say at the same time, and then stare at her. "No, it was full of stage weights. It took me ages to lift them out," she says angrily. I'm not sure what the other two are thinking, but I am confused. And I'm rewinding all the pictures of the prisoners being taken away and trying to figure out if there was any way 16 million could have been taken off with them. Not a chance. No. "Deflated?" Hunter asks. "I've never been so down," Ronnie says, shaking her head. We all look at each other solemnly. Aulie theatrically throws her arms around our shoulders, grouping us all together. Guys, lighten up. It was full of money. I hid it, she whispers. Well, not all of it. 20,000 to Syria via the post room. Hope you don't mind. It might get there. I labelled the parcel books and put some old paperbacks in. We have a mixture of nods, amazement, and horror that she's done that. Where did you hide it? I ask her. On the ship. Can we send some more to Syria? Aulie smiles. We all look at her. How do we get it off the ship? She asks.